The Maine Mariners re-signed Captain Wyllum Deveaux. He sits down with us next on the Maine Hockey Report. And welcome back, everybody. This is the Maine Hockey Report, brought to you by the Hockey Podcast Network. I'm your host, Benjamin Kennedy. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am delighted to welcome in Captain of the Maine Mariners, Wyllum Deveaux, joining us. Will, how are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you. Thanks for having me on, Ben. Great to be back on the podcast, and great to be back chatting hockey.
Always a good time to chat hockey, no doubt about it. First of all, congrats on the new contract. How's the summer been for you so far?
No, thank you. It's been a good summer so far of just resting and getting some time away from the rink after a long season and a emotional playoff run. But it's been good. A little bit of travel, time with family and friends, and just kind of getting refreshed to get into full swing training and getting geared up for October. So it's been with the injury, it's been an ongoing rehab process and getting 100% healthy going into the year. So that's been the main focus, and things have gone well. So I'm happy with that so far.
That is great. I know the fans have been just itching for news. Of course, a lot of teams signing players. You're only number 2 that we've signed so far. But yeah, the fans will certainly be happy to know that you are back in the fold here for the 26-27 season.
No, thank you. I'm excited to be back as well. I mean, I think there's a lot of momentum coming off last season, and the playoff run was super exciting, and winning that series was great. Like, it was, the fans were excellent. The energy in the building was incredible. And, and then falling short to Wheeling leaves you pretty hungry going into next year. So, I think we showed what we were capable of, but there's lots more to achieve.
Absolutely. Yeah, that definitely was a heartbreaking Game 7 down there in West Virginia. Of course, you're back here, I believe, your 3rd season in Maine. Devo, were there any other considerations made with other teams or other leagues, or was it just Maine no-brainer coming back?
I mean, every year you kind of poke around and see, the goal and objective is to move up and make the next level. So definitely reached out to some AHL teams to see, what's going on and an interest or what their lineups are like. And, for me, coming off an injury, it's a little tougher. And I think I know I got to, find a camp invite and go prove myself, and ultimately, have a great season, great start in Maine, and just keep being the best I can every day and keep growing. And for me, it's it's a no-brainer. I love playing in Maine, and I think, but more from a hockey standpoint, we have a great coaching staff between Rick Tolks and Crump, and we have great support from, our owners. So to be here, I think it's great for my hockey career, and to keep pushing, to make the next level out of here is what is a no-brainer for me. And the focus on that and from our coaching staff to develop players is very evident. So that's what makes coming here, very intriguing year after year.
No, absolutely. And of course, we know Providence is really kind of in a reset mode right now. They're, of course, looking for a new coach, and a lot of players have moved on. So that's been the team I've been watching with you. I wonder if Providence doesn't give you a look. I know you've been up there before, so I know we're all cheering for that for you, no doubt. Of course, a historic year for the franchise. They got their first playoff win, but probably a year for you you'd maybe rather forget, right? Can you talk a little bit, Devo, about what it was like to just watch, and what did you learn by having to watch all season? Or did you see the game any differently than normal?
Yeah, I don't think it was a year. Obviously, the injury wasn't the best. Yeah. But, I mean, I don't think it was a year to forget. Like, I was lucky to be able to be around the locker room every day and be around the team. And, looking at it from a different lens, like being hurt, you have a lot of areas to learn mentally. And being out for that extended period of time really tests yourself. So I think for me, I grew a lot in that area and was able to work on different things, shoulder injury, but I got back skating pretty quickly. So sure. I was able to work on my skating every day with, other guys who were injured, and just really push to grow that aspect of my game. And then as I got back, with pucks and stuff, there's a lot of time to train and come back and just see what I could do. It's never easy to come back after the extended period of time gone, but it was just a good test for me. And I think did okay coming back, but I can still lots to work on this summer and continue to grow my game back from the injury. Missing 60 games is a long time. So, but with that, I think watching a lot of games as well and getting to play with or watch games with other guys who are injured, like Zach Massicott, Nielsen, Primo, like those guys, you learn a lot watching from that. And then we have a lot of great players as well. So learning from my teammates was very beneficial for me, and watching other teams come in, how we played. And I think the biggest thing was, identifying when we were at our worst or not our best, and seeing the differences to when we were at our best, and trying to identify trends and just take mental notes so that when I came back, I could bring consistency and try and focus on that every game.
Yeah, you almost become like another coach out there, right? I mean, of course, being the captain, but I know I talked to Rick a little bit about that. He's like, yeah, Deveaux will use his voice, during the year when he wants to, and he definitely had some high praise for, your contributions, even though you weren't playing. So, with the injury, of course, and we know you got into 7 games in the regular year, 14 in the playoffs, but does your offseason regimen change at all from year to year, given what you went through? Or is that injury just such a freak injury that it really doesn't change anything?
No, I think, being healthy and being available is a skill. So that's the number one thing to tackle. And I think in the last month, I've, been here a month and a half, I guess, and trying to be as healthy as I can. And there's a couple areas to that. Like there's being physically healthy and being conditioned and just the rehab process. But there's also, I've been watching a lot of video and trying to identify areas in my game where I may be more susceptible to injury, and just trying to attack it from every angle. So that way I can play, every single game this season at my best. And it's a difficult task. I've been injured before in college, and the one positive is when I was injured in college, I came back and was not happy with my game. I thought I did a much better job this time. So I've been able to recover from injury better. But now it's how can that just not be, just be healthy at all times and really give myself a fighting chance to play every game. And with that, I think missing, like I said earlier, missing 60 games, there's a lot to make up on. So I'm really amplifying how much I train and getting on the ice as much as I can to make up for that, because other guys played 70 games. So I need to kind of fill that deficit and start to bring myself to the level I want to be at in October.
It all comes down to this: a best-of-7 battle, and DraftKings has you covered every step of the way. The DraftKings Sports app is now available in all 50 states and includes all markets. Sweat every shift of the series all in one place with one app. New DraftKings customers sign up with code THPN, spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code THPN in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
With DK Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, that text pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Void in Ontario. Event contract trading with DraftKings predictions involves risk of loss. Sportsbook bonus bets expire in 7 days. $50 in predictions dollars issued weekly for 3 weeks expire in 1 year. Redeem one non-withdrawable reward. Availability varies. Predictions offer void in New York. Ends June 28th. Terms at dkng.co/audio.
And I know Mike and I talked about it during the playoffs, the fact you had missed that much time, at least from our vantage point, you didn't look like you were behind schedule, anything like that. 'Cause we know you were skating, even though you weren't playing. You didn't look like you missed a beat in the playoffs, but how did it feel that way? Or did you feel like you were just a step behind just because of all those games missed?
No, I think we have great support, like from our development coach, Brad Staubitz. Like he was around a lot to help me. And then having 3 or 4 other injured guys, like I said, Massicott, Andrew Nielsen, like in different guys in and out, like we pushed each other to come back at full speed. And that was one of my, that was my main goal And also we had a very, one thing Killer puts and implements as a coach is it's very competitive. So for me coming back, there's no guarantees to play. We're here to win. So if I'm behind and not ready, it's not not just throw them in there. We want the 20 guys that are going every night. So that left me, you got to push and come in, and then you come back to practice and it's ultra competitive. So that mixed with, and also our systems and how Rick and Tolks helped coach, like it made all those things combined help me come back to a level that I wanted to be at. But then again, at the end of the day, there's always more. So I want to continue to grow as much as I can this time off and be a different player come October.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Of course, we want to go back to Game 7. We talked to Nick Anderson a couple weeks ago about his game-winning goal against Adirondack, but it was your goal late in the second period, a breakaway at the 1846 mark that got Maine on the board, tied it up going into that second intermission. Walk us through that breakaway. What did you see? Brodeur had been playing so well up to that point. Walk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were – Game 7, we had lost 2 in a row. Our emphasis was not to grip our sticks. Like we just got to stick to the process. And I thought we were playing well, but it's so tight in the playoffs. We were down 1-0 and nothing. We weren't really getting any bounces. So, our team, I give a lot of credit to our guys. We just kept chipping away. And then I just happened to be the guy who got the lucky break and capitalized on a mistake, to be honest. And when you get those chances in big games, you gotta capitalize. So, the move, I think, was a little bit – I learned from Sebastian Vidmar. He does little chip shots, and he's great at them. But, no, Brodeur stayed back in his net, so I kind of had the angle to do that and was lucky it went in. But, no, I think our team did a great job that game of just chipping away, sticking to it, and staying level-headed. And then those are the breaks that happen. And then I thought Anderson, that was just – we started to hit our stride, and it was an excellent play to win the game. So – it was a fun night. Fun
series, all the roller coaster. We had a lot of the roller coaster in that series against Wheeling, of course, losing the first 2, winning 3 in a row, going back to Wheeling, unfortunately not able to finish it off. Deveaux, how does that bitterness of losing, how does that drive you as a captain going into this season?
Yeah, I mean, losing in Game 7, especially like on the road and winning, being on both sides of it, playing in 2 Game 7s. I mean, like I said, those series were so tight. All the games were very tight checking, and it's a game of bounces. Wheeling came out flying in Game 7 and took advantage, but there's something to learn. We pushed back at the end pretty hard and, had our chances, but just not enough. So I think, the guys who are returning and the team as a whole is taking, a lot of lessons from that. And in the grand scheme of things, we showed we're capable. We're right at the Game 7 finish line. So if we get ourselves to that level we were at in playoffs again this year, which we will, we're going to give ourselves a chance to push further and learn from prior shortcomings.
Of course, we know that every year the rosters are going to look so different. We know there's already been a lot of change. A lot of key guys have left for Europe. As captain, though, what are you most excited about as this team starts to come together and leading this new look group? What excites you about that? Yeah,
I mean, it's a great opportunity this season. I'm just really excited to be back in the locker room with the guys. And, that was one of the hardest parts about missing time with injury is the day-to-day and being with your teammates. Like you can't beat it. So, I'm just first and foremost excited for that. And to the guys departing, the group of guys are a great group of players. They were excellent teammates and they were really good for our organization. And that's the goal, I think, like I said earlier, is to develop guys. And they had when you have a great season, there's going to be some guys that get opportunities to move on. So, Lampa, Hudsey, Callie, Arv, Nielsen all came here and did an excellent job and will be missed. But that's the goal of this league, and it's the unfortunate reality. But with that said, I have, a lot of faith in Killer's recruiting mindset and what he's going to bring in, and he's going to field a great team. So I'm excited for that, and I'm excited to get back to work. And I think he's looking for character guys, skill, and he really does a great job constructing a roster. So I'm excited to see how things play out and just get back to work. I think there's a lot of unfinished business, and ultimately to play a full 72 games with a great group of guys.
Awesome stuff. Well, Wyllum, thank you so much for taking some time out here in your busy summer schedule to talk with us. I know the fans are really excited that you're back, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you back at the Cross very, very soon.
Yeah, no, my pleasure, Ben. Thanks for having me on, and I'm excited to get back to work and excited to be back in front of the fans at the Cross.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for watching and listening today. If you haven't hit like and subscribe yet, please do so. It certainly helps the channel out. We'll be back with more content here as the summer continues. And until next time, be kind, show love, and God bless.